Welcome to Momversation, and we've got a new Momversation player. Woohoo! Catherine from Her Bad Mother, welcome.
Hi, thank you.
Catherine, love your blog, and I wanted to talk to you more about a posting you did a while ago having to do with nursing somebody else's baby. Can you give us the bit of that story for people who hadn't read it?
It was a situation in which I found myself without my baby and without a breast pump at an event in New York, and I found myself extremely engorged and in a lot of pain, as you know, anyone who's breastfed knows. Anyway, at that event, I'd struck up a friendship with a mom who was there who had her baby, and I had been complaining about the feeling in my breasts, and she offered me her baby. She offered to let me nurse her baby. She was there without pumped breast milk, and her daughter was hungry, and she said, you know, why don't you nurse my daughter? There was another blogger who wrote about it, who wrote about seeing me nurse another woman's child, and her feeling was absolutely that it was not an appropriate thing to do. You know, she said that it was clear that we had only just met at that event and that we didn't know each other well. And the comments on that post were, when I finally saw it, were distressing. I mean, there were people, talking about, well, what if she had HIV or another disease, that kind of thing.
I see. What did you think about it, Heather, when you read that story?
I was really shocked by what an uproar the whole thing became. I thought it was really blown out of proportion. The two people that mattered the most in this situation, the moms, were happy with it, so I didn't really understand why everybody else got all in a tizzy. You know, people seized on how it was a unique situation and then turned it into something very ugly and personal, and I didn't really think that was necessary at all.
Well, Heather, I agree with you 100%. I mean, people can be so mean online in a way that they wouldn't dare be in person. So there's that issue, and I totally abhor that. And Catherine, I think you're very brave for writing about it, because I have to be honest that, I mean, my first reaction is kind of like, oh no, arr, but at the same time, remembering that engorged feeling, and I remember being at work once, and I was away from my kids, and I had forgotten my pump, but there was another person who, with their nanny, had brought their kid in, and I joked, I was like, can I throw her on? I mean, it definitely went through my head, but it is a little bit of a taboo. Heather, do you think it's responsible or irresponsible to use somebody else's breast milk?
It's really depends on the circumstances and the situation. I know that there are babies out there that are critically ill, premature babies, or babies with serious digestive issues who require breast milk. Formula just won't cut it in these situations. And for a lot of moms who have had these babies, they aren't able to produce their own breast milk. So they do end up having to use donated and screened breast milk. But this whole thing, like I said, was very overly dramatized, and I know Catherine, I know she doesn't have any diseases. I know that she's a very clean person, which a lot of the commenters so meanly brought up. But again, it's one of those things where you make the decisions and you live with them.
All right, thanks Catherine, thanks Heather, and what do you think about this whole issue? Would you breastfeed somebody else's kid? Would you have somebody breastfeed your kid if you needed it?
Join the Momversation at momversation.com.